tax is a game changer. And I think a lot of people don't realize this or don't think about this like they should. Okay, tax is probably the single biggest expense for most businesses, depending on the rate. Okay, if they've got a limited company taking money out, they're paying 19% there, they're paying up to 32.5% on their dividend. When they go over 50,000, 19 plus 32 gets to 51% in tax. 51%, nearly half. Okay, that's for most businesses, that's the single biggest cost. Yet, and this amazes me, when I'm talking to people, they're talking about changing their gas supplier. I'm telling you, I'm serious. They talk about changing their gas supplier because we're going to pay 1 pence less per unit. They're talking about, okay, changing their stationery supplier because they're going to buy paper, okay, for 1 or 2 pence less per sheet. And say, well, hold on a moment, you're paying so much tax. What if we could reduce this by 5%? Okay, so rather than you paying, let's say, £15,000, okay, you're paying £13,000, or whatever the figure ought to be. That's £2,000, okay. How does that sound? Well, I never thought of that, because the way we're trained, let's be honest about this, the way that we're trained, to some extent, the way that the system's trained us, is you got to pay tax. So most people, until they get to progressive or elsewhere, they're on a journey and they start thinking about these things, people thinking, I've got to pay tax, so put that to the side. Now let me start thinking about how can I save that penny on the gas bill, how can I save that penny on the paper, the stationery. So we're going to get you thinking very differently. You say, don't worry about the stationery, don't worry about the paper, don't worry about the business card, okay, or your internet provider. Pay them or save on that too. Let's start on the big stuff first, because that's really important. Once you do that, I mean, you've seen from my own story, which I shared with you very briefly in the morning, having started as an accountant, got 5 different businesses, working on 5 or 6 different projects, all right? A lot of that, not all of it, because that would be incorrect, a lot of that comes through being smart with my taxes, okay? And that's enabled me to reinvest that money into more businesses, into more deals, to make all of that happen. Had I not done all of that, I wouldn't have all I've got. It's as simple as that. That's the fact. I can share that with you. That's a fact. But because I've been efficient and I've focused on it, I've been able to get more out for myself by either investing more in my businesses, working less hours, working more hours, making more money. Whatever you want, you're all going to have different aspirations. I can't cover every single thing to cover every single avenue. But whatever you want to do, I can assure you that tax is going to help you make that happen quicker than every other thing.